Hello and welcome to the next episode of Simon Says Let's Talk Business on Business RadioX. This is your host, Al Simon, with Sandler Training by Simon Inc. And I am pumped today. I got three excellent guests today. This show, Simon Says Let's Talk Business, is all about spotlighting professionals who are doing excellently out in the business world and their best practices, though they are willing to share with others. And so you're going to learn some stuff, and you may want to take some notes because you may want to contact one or more of these tremendous guests today that we have. We're going to spotlight their businesses and what they're doing, the great stuff they're doing out in the world, and their best practices. We have Kelli Clay as a guest today. Kelli, welcome.
Thank you.
With Kelli Clay Inc., talking about stressing less and thriving more. Awesome. And then we've got Will Nobles. Will, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
The CEO of Vector Choice Technology Solutions, and we're going to talk a lot of cybersecurity today, huh?
Absolutely.
All right. I always wonder, when I get online somewhere besides my office, even there sometimes. So
Someone's always watching.
Always watching, so we'll talk about that. And our third guest today is Javier McIntosh with McIntosh Bros, LLC. Javier, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Al.
Video production company.
Yeah.
So very different companies, but three very, very solid professionals. And thank you so much for sharing your expertise with our guests today. So, Kelli, let's start with you, huh?
Sounds great.
Kelli Clay with Kelli Clay Inc. And you do some stuff that's really cool because a lot of my clients have what you help with, which is stress and call reluctance and stuff like that, right? And you call it Train Your Brain to Strive Less and Thrive program.
Yes, train your brain to stress less and thrive.
Okay,
and
what is that?
Well, the idea behind it, Al, is it really helps companies become more productive. It helps people achieve their goals and achieve success. And best of all, it helps with happiness overall at work and in life. So when I start working with a client originally, one of the first questions I ask is, what are your goals and what are you struggling to achieve? What I find is that it's not typically physical stressors that slow us down, right?
Yes.
We're not out cutting down trees, most of us anyway. Usually it's not intellectual stressors, because if it's an intellectual stressor, you're going to find a way to solve that. You're going to get out and get training. Most of the time, it's emotional stressors that stop us in our tracks. And I would love to give you an example.
Please do.
Okay, so let's say that I'm brand new to sales. I've never done this before. I need skills, right? So what do? Well, if I'm smart, I go to the very best in the business, and that would be you, Al Simon. And I get...
Say that again.
That would be you, Al Simon.
Thank
and
you so much.
I get Sandler training. So when I come in and I get Sandler training, what happens is I walk out that door, and if I apply what I have learned, I'm going to be phenomenal. I'm going to be successful. And you find that all the time in your business, right? You train people, they go out, they do a super amazing job when they walk out your door. But what happens to that little handful that don't? Why does that happen?
I hear that all the time. They say, I know what to do, I just didn't do it.
Right. They don't apply it.
Right.
Why don't people apply it? The problem tends to be, most of the time, an emotional stressor. And that's where I come in. I help people with their emotional stress. So this looks like things like fear, insecurity, worry, frustration. Now, there's a little problem because most of the time people don't want to admit that they have emotional stressors. But the reality is we all do.
But why would they work with you if they don't believe they have them?
Well, that's a little sticking point, isn't it?
Okay.
But what people find is when they're not achieving their goals, and I start pointing this out, they realize, yeah, there's a point there.
Well, let me ask you one question about that, because I find that most people don't have goals.
Ah, that's interesting, isn't it?
It is.
So, and that's a huge part of what you do, right? You help people develop their goals.
We just had our annual goal-setting workshop this last week. Yes, we did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, if you don't have goals and you're not headed towards something, then success is out of your reach.
Yeah.
So that needs to be a part of it, obviously. So some of it is going to be about goal setting and that sort of thing, but a lot of it is not being as productive as you need to be. And most of the time, the reason that we're not is we have some sort of emotional stressor that's holding us back. I help people get unstuck and move forward. And the example that I used was in sales. Right, but this can be in anything. This can be in goals around customer service. This can be in the area of employee retention. And in fact, in employee retention, it's huge.
Why is it huge?
Well, because generally speaking, the reason people don't stay is because they're not happy. If I can help them find this area of stressing less and show them a way to thrive at work, show them their sense of purpose,
yes.
Wow, the happiness level increases. They become more productive. They want to be. I mean, just imagine going to work every day and having people be enthusiastic and wanting to be there.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Wouldn't that be neat? Yeah.
Well, I love the word thrive. And here's what happens. So let's go back to the world of sales, which, of course, is my world, and so I like to go there. But let's suppose that you have a sales rep who needs to do a lot of prospecting. And prospecting is not the easiest thing in the world, right? I mean, people just don't like doing it. So let's suppose that they're prospecting and they're grinding and it's difficult, and so they're not enjoying the journey. Which I don't know if that's what you mean by thrive, but they're not enjoying the journey. And you can explain what you mean by that soon when I get done telling the story. But the problem with that is that they don't enjoy the journey. Even if they're making money, they're not going to do it very long.
Right.
They're just not going to keep doing it. And so in our world, we want them to not only make money, because most are on variable compensation, but we also want them to enjoy the journey, which is a phrase I use. Is that the same thing as thrive?
I think that it is, yes.
Is
And it may not be exactly the same thing, but I think it's a huge part of it.
Okay.
So thrive is going to include everything from being super successful to loving it as you go. And you're not going to love every aspect of every job and everything about your life. But in general, to be able to get up most days and feel that level of enthusiasm, that's huge.
Okay. So begs the question, how do you do that, right? I mean, someone told me once that changing mindsets and getting over these conceptual roadblocks, sometimes called head trash, is like you take someone's brain and you open it up and you rewire the neurons. And then you have to put it back together and hope it works. And that's messy stuff.
Yes.
How do you do it?
And so you're exactly right, because the process that we go through as humans is very simple on the outside. The problem with it is physiologically on the inside, it's way more complicated. And so what we have to do is practice on the outside every day, the techniques, the tools, that sort of thing. It doesn't take much time to do it, but you have to practice it some every single day in order to get those neurons to rewire in a different way, to fire differently. And so one of the very first things I teach, and this is a hard one because you've got to live in the dark a little bit first. You got to love the dark. I teach people to embrace their negative emotions first, to harness their negative emotions.
You do?
I do. You think about it, most of the time what people want to do is they want to eat away their negative emotions. They want to Netflix away their negative emotions. They want to drink away their negative emotions. They don't want to face them. They don't want to deal with them. And so one of the first things I do is teach people the top 5 reasons why you have negative emotions, why they are good for you. And I will tell you that as soon as I get people to work their way through that, they find at the end that they're way more comfortable feeling uncomfortable.
Okay. So you get comfortable with the negative emotions.
Yes.
And you teach them how to do that.
Yes.
That's the first step.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have to, and let me tell you, negative emotions, they're not just a thought in your head. There are all kinds of things happening in your body. You're releasing all kinds of neurotransmitters. You're releasing all kinds of hormones. It takes your body some time to metabolize those hormones. The problem with it is once we get into that negative emotion, those hormones are all through our blood system. They're all in our bodies. We feel the physiological response from that. And then in our brains, we say, oh no, I'm stressing. And we freak out and we stress more. So what we have to do is
Shouldn't laugh at that, should I? I guess it's just a serious business right here.
True,
It is. It really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we have to do is work our way through these negative emotions mentally in the process that I teach. But we also have to give our bodies enough time to metabolize those hormones. And you know what? We need to find a way to know that we can face any negative emotion out there and we can handle it. Okay. If I could teach my people, you can handle this, all you have to do is work through these steps and allow your body time to process it, and you will be unshakable. Awesome. You can do it.
how'd you even get going in this business? I mean, what inspired you to do this?
Oh my God, I can't even tell you how much I love this story.
Yeah.
So I am going to try to give you the Reader's Digest version.
We'll see if we love this story.
Oh, this
we'll be the
is
judge.
so much fun. Okay, so I was teaching at Georgia State's Perimeter College, and I had the most amazing opportunity. I got to create a college class. How often does that happen? And the college class was a scientific perspectives class, and I picked my theme, and my theme was stress less, achieve more. A very unexpected thing happened to me. The first semester I taught this class, when it was over with, I had students line up and hug me.
Wow.
And say to me, this class changed my life. And I'm telling you, it happened to me every single semester I taught it, every semester. And they would say things to me like, my grades are the best they've ever been. I'm learning more than I have before. I have the best relationship with my parents I've ever had. I am making more friends. The stories were incredible. I mean, some of them were single parents. I'm doing the best as a mom I've ever done. It was just phenomenal to listen to. And I thought, wow, the world needs this. If we could all apply this, think about how different our business lives and our home lives would be.
That's just awesome.
It was fun.
So then you left Georgia Perimeter College and started it on your own, huh?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
Just in January. So it's been a year since I've done it. Now, I've been a coach on the side I've done both. I've taught at the college and been a coach on the side for 15 years.
Okay.
But I just took this program full time to the marketplace in January.
Okay. So how'd you train for this?
Wow, hasn't that been fun? It's been such an interesting experience. In terms of the stress side, I started when I got my master's degree in exercise science. I started learning about stress management then. In terms of training for the actual class and what I apply, that came about with all of the research I did in order to create the class. And then, working with my students and seeing what was really working with them and what wasn't, that helped me to hone it down a little bit better. And then I have a coaching certification as well, so that also contributed to it.
Okay, so you offer classes, programs. How does that look for people that want to take a look at it?
Absolutely. So I do presentations for organizations. I also do workshops. So businesses and organizations, that's typically most of the work I do. In addition to that, I offer individual programs that are virtual. And my clients seem to really like that a lot because it's easy. They show up in their pajamas and they get on the phone. We do our thing.
Yeah.
So that works really well.
Yeah, we have remote clients too, and I always wonder what they're wearing. They're not turning on their camera. There's a reason for that. Yeah. Okay. But you work with them, and I mean, you really do help people to overcome these self-limiting beliefs, these stressors. And how long does it take?
Oh, I think it depends on what your goals are, on who the person is. So I have a client who has a special needs son. So she's working more on an individual level, not so much on a business level.
Okay.
So with her, it's been going on for, quite some time because every week or, actually we meet every couple of weeks, and every couple of weeks she's renewing that energy, around that. For the businesses, it depends on what the business is looking for. In an ideal world, I like to come in and have 5 full sessions so that I can actually see the employees apply what I'm teaching. That's what makes the biggest difference is when they apply it. And sometimes I'm hired to come in and do, a one-shot workshop or maybe 2 in a row, that sort of thing. So it's a variety.
Okay, so all right, let me help our listeners here. So if they wanted to get a hold of you and talk through what they're going through and how you might help them, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
So they can email me or go to my website. So it's Kelli with an I. So it's Kelli with an I, KelliClay.com.
Okay.
And the email is just as easy, Kelli@KelliClay.com.
Okay.
My phone number is also there. Welcome to call me.
Okay, so you can get these things off of the RadioX website, or I'm going to say them again if you want to write them down. Kelli with an I, Kelli@KelliClay.com is your email address. The website is KelliClay.com. Simple.
Yes.
Again, Kelli with an I. And then the phone number is 404-786-3859, correct?
Right.
404-786-3859. So, Kelli, this is wonderful. This is terrific. I got so many people that can help, that need your help. So,
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having
Absolutely.
me. I'm so happy to be here.
Good. Well, you may have some more things to say to our other guests here, right? Or Javier, you got something you want to say?
I mean, this seems like something that would be useful for everybody. I mean, it seems amazing, and just thanks for coming up with this. And how do most of people find you these days? I mean, it seems like everybody could use this. So I'm wondering where the most people find you.
So I try to do a lot of networking. It's just me all by myself, so it's kind of hard to be out there in too many different places. But that's typically how word of mouth networking that I do, mostly that way.
So I'm
thank you.
Wow, I might need some of these services.
I'm so glad to help you.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
I'm easily sold. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
We all know
things.
people that are stressed in some way.
Right.
I mean, there's just so many people that are just really having a hard time getting through life, and then and the stressors keep them from being able to produce and perform in their roles. Yeah, it's just so cool. Very good.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you
awesome.
for having me.
Absolutely. So once again, this is Al Simon, your host of Simon Says, Let's Talk Business on Business Radio X. Our next guest, Will Nobles. Hey, Will.
How are you doing, sir?
Yes, sir. CEO of Vector Choice Technology Solutions.
Yes, sir.
Created in 2008, and you do technology services. And it says here you empower clients by tailoring technology solutions to their unique needs.
Absolutely. So the biggest threat today is cyber attacks.
Yes.
And we're not just a typical IT MSP or a managed service provider. We're protecting you against cyber attacks. So we're really the cops of the IT world, let's say.
Oh, okay.
So, our goal is to maintain and secure our clients' networks.
Okay. Now, your clients being what kinds of?
We have medium and small businesses. We
Okay.
have law firms that we had. Our smallest client is 2 employees up to 5,000 employees in size. So
Wow, that's a range.
We have a big range.
Yeah.
I would say most of our clients are probably 50 to 200 employees in size.
Okay. So that's your sweet spot, or what we call our ideal client profile.
Correct, yes. Yep.
50 to 200
Yep.
people. Okay. And does that kind of size organization typically have in-house IT?
No, usually we see once you get past about 1,000 employees, then they'll start having some type of in-house IT. So we do co-manage services with them where
Okay.
we do part of their technology. We might do the help desk where they do the engineering, or vice versa, where they might do the lower level tech support stuff and we're the engineers for the customer. So it all depends on the size of the client. But yeah, today most medium and small businesses outsource their technology.
Yes, but they're not necessarily protected from cyber attacks, I'm guessing.
Not always.
Yeah.
A lot of times people think, oh, I've got a firewall, I've got antivirus, I'm good, right? No, that's not the case. Today, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, yeah, that was okay. That's just the icing on the cake at this point. There's multiple layers of security in your security stack that you want to make sure you maintain. From training of your employees to dark web monitoring. The thing is, I can go into clients or prospects' office and hand them their passwords as I walk in.
Really?
There was a CPA firm here in Atlanta it was 13 owners of a CPA firm. I had a roundtable meeting with them. Were having a board meeting, and I walked in and literally I handed them each a piece of paper and had all their passwords on it, and I found it on the dark web.
Oh my goodness. Javier,
Now, how long did that take you to find the passwords? I mean,
About 3 minutes.
no freaking way.
Yep. So we
Wow.
have a program that can go out, search the dark web, and for passwords, we can see if your PI information, public, your social security number and stuff is out there.
Wow.
So we can find that type of stuff. But our focus is mostly password related.
okay, so Kelly, what do you got?
What is the dark web?
That was what I was going to ask.
Thank goodness.
Think of the internet. Think of the internet as Google, Yahoo, Facebook, your typical search. What you use on a daily basis. The deep web is the layer above below that. That sort of look at it like an iceberg. You only see part of it. Up at the top, but most of the iceberg is down below. Well, that's really where the dark web's at. That's where all the illegal activities happen. So illegal gambling to drug trafficking to illegal guns to human trafficking, passwords, social security numbers. So when you hear about Target or Equifax getting hacked, what you find is the hacker steals that information, uploads it to the dark web, and I can go buy your social security number for $10 on the dark
Wow.
web. So $20 for a credit card, and you can buy this stuff on the dark web. easily. And granted, you've got to be a little more technical than the average person, but you can go on the dark web, buy this stuff, and then I can go use your Social Security number.
So for things like, websites where I have a whole bunch of files and a whole bunch of, client, files and footage like Drive or Dropbox, or those things, easily you can find passwords for that kind of stuff as well?
Correct. A lot of times when your password gets compromised, I'm going to guess the three of you guys sitting in this room, you'll probably use about 5 passwords at the most, and like cumulative, maybe 1 or 2 in some cases. That's the average person. So the thing is, I only have to compromise one social media site. I can compromise one website and get to a lot of your other passwords, because hackers know that you use the same password or close to variations of that password. So really what we encourage people to do is use a password database system. We use one called LastPass, LASTPASS.
LastPass.
And you can use it on your phone as well as your computer, and save those passwords. It's encrypted. You're probably thinking, well, in Google Chrome it pops up and says, do I want to save your password? Well, if you do that, if I can get on your computer, I can get every one of your passwords in a matter of probably 30 seconds.
Wow.
Because that saves it.
So you've done this before.
We do white hacking.
Watch out.
But no, really, you don't want, like in Google Chrome, you don't want to save that password, because it saves in what's called plain text.
Yeah.
And so all I have to do is go to a file on your computer, on the C drive of the computer, and see every one of your passwords. And that.
Okay. So now I can imagine a company with 1,000 employees.
Yes.
And every one of those employees has different passwords, and some of them are probably pretty lax with that, right? So
a lot of companies are. I was just in New Orleans on Tuesday talking I was on Fox 44 Baton Rouge, and the city of New Orleans got compromised last Friday.
Yeah, I heard
they
that.
got a ransomware attack. They shut down 5,000 computers and all their servers for the whole city of New Orleans. The cost of that, right? Now, they were able to recover from backup, but it was from one person clicking on an email because they were trying to download music. That's why you don't, as a company, you don't want your employees come to work and feel like you're controlling them, but at the same time, you want to secure your environment, because you're just as responsible, for what people are doing on your network.
Okay, now your company has multiple locations, right?
Correct. So our corporate office is here in Atlanta. So I started the company in 2008.
Okay.
Our corporate office is here in Atlanta. We have an office in Washington, D.C., North Carolina, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana as well.
Okay, so that's why you were in New Orleans, right? Because of the Baton Rouge office?
Correct, yes. Yep.
Are you helping those folks, those poor people in the city of New Orleans?
No. We didn't get called in for that, but
Should have, right? Should have.
I love it.
Should have been called in for that before it happened.
That's a lot of times I have a meme that's on social media that says, here's the budget for cyber prevention before a cyber attack, and here's the budget, and it's several stacks of $100 bills passing across the table, and that's what people don't realize. We had a company that called us in D.C. They got compromised. They got a ransomware attack. They not only did they get attacked once, they were attacked 3 times with the same hacker. They had to pay a $10,000 ransom, a $5,000 ransom, and a $30,000 ransom, plus what they paid us in 1 week. So, and we actually had to take cash out and go to a Bitcoin ATM, which there's only one here in Atlanta, okay? Go to a Bitcoin ATM in D.C. with the cops, because it's all $100 bills of, $40-some thousand, and $100 bills, and put $100 bills in a Bitcoin ATM and pay in Bitcoins. And a Bitcoin is $10,000, so to give you an idea of what it costs to get compromised. It would have been a lot cheaper for them to do preventive and proactive maintenance than paying the ransoms.
Okay, so you got people ready to talk to you right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how would be best to do that, Will? How do they get a hold of you, or whoever they need to get a hold of at Vector Choice?
Yeah, so you can contact us. You can go to our website, vectorchoice.com. Also, you can go. You can email me at will@willnobles.com, or wnobles@vectorchoice.com. And my direct phone number you can reach to me is 770-313-3319.
Okay, that was real fast. Let me do that again. Okay, so
sorry.
So your email is will
Yep.
at willnobles.com. .com.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the website is vectorchoice.com.
Yep, vectorchoice.com.
Okay, and your own phone number.
Yep,
or is this a company number?
This is my direct cell phone number, so you don't have to even
really
go through an auto attendant.
You really want to give this out?
I'm absolutely okay. That's the type of company we are. Is I want people to be able to reach out to us. So 770-313-3319.
Okay, 770-313-3319. Vector Choice Technology. You remember the old oil filter commercial? All right, you can pay me now or you can pay me later?
Yep.
That's
pretty much.
It's like what you're talking about with the before and after. Hey, look, got to get this figured out now.
Yep. And usually the bill that you have to pay your company to recover your data is a lot bigger than the bill that you'd have paid me beforehand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so folks, you got it here. You need to call Kelly for your stress levels, and you need to call Will to take care of your cyber attacks.
Call me first, and then call Kelly to relieve your stress.
That's
after.
There you go. Kelly, we're stressed because we're getting hacked here, but Will, thank you for lessening our stress because we're not going to get hacked. How about that? We can figure this out. Yeah, this is Al Simon with Simon Says Let's Talk Business on Business Radio X, and got 3 terrific guests here today. Thank you, Will, for joining us. Thank you, Kelly. Our third guest, Javi. You go by Javi or Javier?
You can call me Javi, but Javier is also fine.
Javier McIntosh with McIntosh Bros LLC, and you do video production.
Video production, yes.
Yeah, tell us more about that. How do you do that stuff?
Yeah, so we do full service video production. So we film, we capture, we specialize in a lot of commercials. We do some short films, do some music videos. So.
Okay, so you've worked with some pretty big names, right?
Yeah, we've worked with some good people.
You want to drop some names here?
I think most recently, earlier in this month or late last month, we did something with Spotify, which is cool. If you've heard of the film, there's a film out right now called Queen and Slim. We did their big premiere event here in Atlanta.
Did you?
And that was fun. A lot of cool people were there. I got to hang out with like 2 Chainz and T.I. and some people like that.
Nice.
And yeah, so that's always.
I have no idea who they are, but I'm sure they're important.
they're big Atlanta hip hop artists.
Yeah, I knew that. I did.
Yes.
I did, yeah.
You should know T.I. T.I.'s around.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was in T.I.'s in. You ever see Ant-Man?
No.
Ant-Man, the Marvel film Ant-Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's one of the robbers. So you might have
no
seen him.
All right. Okay. And then you've done like Sprite, Reebok.
Yeah, we've done some commercial work for Sprite Pour, Reebok. Those are always fun because you're dealing with brands that are established, and but as an artist, I got to put my own spin on it. Like they've hired us for a reason because of our artistic expertise, but we also need to be cognizant of their brand and what they're already doing.
I'm glad you mentioned that because you're an artist, but you have to have technical skills as well.
Right.
And so how'd you get in this business? How'd you get where you are today?
Man, so it's my dad. He worked for HP growing up, and he hated his job. He was an artist at heart.
He should have been talking to Kelly.
Right,
Come
he
on,
should have been talking to Kelly.
But then you wouldn't be where you are today, right?
Right,
Okay.
because he told me, he's like, since I was a little kid, he's like, follow your dreams, figure out what your passion is, and make a business from there. So I always knew I loved art. I mean, I was making short films with my brother since I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
So in college, I bought a camera and just started walking around everywhere with this camera, and people thought I knew how to make video and photo, which I was just learning, but they started paying me somehow, and that's how the business came around. And
the accidental entrepreneur.
The accidental entrepreneur. And I tried, graduated from college, I tried to start a job, and I just kept on taking off work because of opportunities. And finally, my boss came to me, and she's like, it seems like this whole video thing is going pretty well for you. You probably should just do that because you keep on taking off work.
That you're free to do.
Right, you're really right.
And then HP called and offered you a job, and you said, no.
No, it's something like that.
Yeah, okay.
And then I taught my brother how to edit and how to film and make videos, and he quickly became better than me. So I was like, we got something here.
Yeah.
We should make a company.
Okay, so how is it working with your brother?
It's good. Yeah, he's great. He's very passionate. He brings in his clients. My brother Jabril. I've got 2 brothers. Another one's in Vegas.
Okay.
But my brother Jabril, he's probably one of the most proud things I am with are my brothers, because I teach them something very small, and they quickly become better than me at it.
Okay.
Very quickly. That's how younger brothers are.
Maybe you should be in my business and be a trainer.
Maybe.
There you go.
Because he just kills it. He's amazing. He gets big clients. He hopped on tour with Kendrick Lamar, which is another hip hop artist.
Yeah.
He films for Drum and some other people. So he's
nice.
very cool.
All right.
A bunch of names you probably don't know who they are.
Probably not. Yeah. What's your most what's your favorite story about a project?
Yeah. One of the coolest projects that I thought we did, and this was early on in our video production career, is there was a Doritos Crash the Super Bowl competition. I don't know if you remember. I
do remember that. Yeah. Now you're talking stuff I know about.
Yeah.
Right. Doritos and football.
Doritos football. Boom. So I got all my friends and came up with a script and had prosthetic people come out, hair people. We filmed it in the mountains. It was this cool commercial, this 30-second spot, and I spent $1,000 of my money when I really didn't have that much money. It was, back.
Yeah.
And we eventually got a sponsor and everything to cover those fees. But it was a cool journey where we got to put up a commercial. We got pretty far, and a bunch of people saw it. And I like those type of projects.
I'll bet. That's
where it's
really
all
cool.
passion. Everybody's doing it passion. Everybody's doing it for free.
And a little bit high profile, and that's exciting too, huh?
Right.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Very good. So what's your proudest? Is that your proudest moment in the business?
Well, that and being my brother's first project.
Yeah.
Where I would kind of say this is the aha moment is we did Campus Movie Fest, which is the biggest student-run film festival in the world. And they start at the college level. We did a short film. We filmed it all in one day, and I think we edited it all in 1 or 2 days. And we won at Georgia State.
Nice.
And I think we got top 15 in the nation.
All right.
They flew us to Hollywood, and we got to show it in Fox Theater, Hollywood, and 20th Century Fox, and a couple of those studios. And that was the thing where I was like, man, we work well together, me and my brother, Javier, and we have something. We should probably do a lot more of this.
Yes.
Do this full time.
So how long has that been? Since when? When did you start?
Man, that was I graduated in 2011, so that was probably 2010, 9, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So
and they showed it at Cannes Film Festival too, which was a pretty big deal.
Nice. So you're 9 or 10 years into the business. You're an expert.
Yeah. Exactly. Full time. That's how long I've been doing it full time.
That's
if
great.
you talk about when I did my first film, that's a long time.
Walking around with a camera at college wasn't so much.
Right.
Yeah. That's excellent. So so you're people that work with you because it helps them build their brand, right? Mm-hmm. It helps them sell stuff. I mean, what are the major reasons why people work with you?
Yeah, so we know how to tell a story. We keep your audience in mind when telling the story. So that's always the first question I'm asking different brands and different companies.
Right.
Who are we trying to reach? Who are we trying to touch? Because if we're trying to touch the mom at home, it's a different story than if we're trying to touch the dad that's going to watch the football game on Sunday.
Yes.
So we always have the full circle in mind, and we're artistic at heart. So we're thinking of that message, but we still bring a lot of art. We bring a lot of cool editing techniques to it.
Yeah.
And we try to make a good
I wish
product.
this wasn't radio, because you should see Javi's face talking about this. It's just lighting up. And he's got so much passion in here. Yeah.
So I want to know how often you use your own voice in your productions, because people should really pay a lot extra for that. Like, you have a rockin' voice.
Oh,
It's
thank
perfect
you.
for it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in a while. That's cool.
Great.
He's going to have his own radio show here.
I am. I'm
know.
gonna talk to RadioX over here. We're gonna have a show.
Yeah.
Actually, my dad actually does radio, so he has the good radio voice.
Yeah.
He talks and he's smooth, and I've heard him on a couple commercials, which is really cool.
Nice.
Clearly, you're capable of that as well. It's working.
So very soon it's going to be live from the Subaru RadioX studio.
Live from or in Spanish, me encanta, por favor.
Oh, hey. Yeah,
It's a celebración.
Now we're talking. Well, Javier, thanks for joining us. This is very cool. If people want to talk to you, and I know they were going to want to, how do they get a hold of you?
You can go to McIntoshBros.com. That's McIntoshBros.com.
Okay.
You can search Google Macintosh Bros or Google Javier McIntosh.
Okay. Javier McIntosh. So McIntosh Bros, BROS.com. And
or call me at 678-557-9308.
All righty, 678-557-9308.
Yeah.
Call Javier, soon to be famous for radio, Javier McIntosh.
Thank you. I'm just I'm picking up some pointers from you, Al.
Yeah,
you got it.
There you go. So, yeah, not only do you film people, but you're going to be on the mic yourself. And that's
That'd be great.
There we go. Very good. This has been great. So, Javier, Will, Kelli, thank you so much for joining us here on Simon Says, Let's Talk Business. As always, we're going to wrap the show up with a little sales tip. I have people that send me questions about sales, and here's one I've chosen to answer today. Here's the question. What's the best way to create a sense of urgency without coming across as pushy? This is the classic sales question. How do you? All right. So here's the scenario: you have on your pipeline and your sales forecast, you've listed ABC company is going to close by the end of the year 2019. Problem is, they're not signing the contract. They're not answering your phone calls. They're not even answering your emails. And you told your boss you're going to close this thing. And you've already spent the commission mentally, or maybe even physically sometimes.
Yep.
And so you want to create a sense of urgency to get the deal done, right? Classic scenario. We've all had it. If you've been in sales at all, you've had this situation. Okay. Now, the standard way to do it is to email the prospect with a discount offer, right? Hey, if you buy by the end of this year, we'll take 10% off. Why is that not a good idea? Anybody know?
Does it make your product seem lesser than when you discount it?
Oh, man, you sound like you're a used car salesman who, their prospect just decided to walk off the lot and not buy. So what happens? They run after you and say, hey, wait a minute.
Yep.
Let me talk to my boss, see if I can get something off that list price, which is so sleazy. All right, it is so sleazy, and it does degrade the value not only of the product or service, but also of the prospect's vision of you, perception. That's thank you. There's the creative guy. Their perception of you and your company. Now, they might appreciate the discount, all right, and it might help, but certainly the overall value has gone down. And here's the other thing too. Your gross profit margin just dropped a bunch, and you set the precedent that this is the way we do business. So if they become a customer or a client, and the renewal time comes around, or additional services or products need to be bought, guess what they are expecting you to do? Fold like a lawn chair, of course. Yes.
Do the same thing.
Yes, exactly. So it just sets that whole precedent. And it's just not good business. So many times we can close business without discounting. So let's not do that. And let's not inundate the prospect with emails and voicemails. And so some people say, stalk them, show up at their front door, and just don't go away until they sign the contract. Look, people think that they're good salespeople because they can close deals. But if you close deals that way, you're nothing but a pushy salesperson. Don't do it. Don't do it. So how do I answer, this is Casey's question, how do I answer Casey's question about creating a sense of urgency? You do that from hello, not late in the sales cycle, but early in the sales cycle, by discovering what we call pain. Pain is the reason why people buy. It's either to get away from a negative situation or go toward a more positive situation. And if you explore those things with your prospect completely, I mean completely, what's going on, why is it going on, and what is the impact on this person personally, then you can always come back to that. Talk about opportunity costs. You can talk about not fixing the problem, whatever it is, and the emotional part of that equation is what drives the sense of urgency. Here's the other aspect of this: is you can't care. You can't care if they're going to buy from you or not, now or later. You just can't care. Because as soon as you need the deal more than they need you, you got a problem. And that's today's sales tip, how to create a sense of urgency, find out the pain and the emotion that goes with it, and you'll get there. So once again, this has been Al Simon with Sandler Training. And Simon Says, Let's Talk Business in the Subaru Business Radio X studio. Thank you, Kelli Clay. Thank you, Will Nobles. Thank you, Javier McIntosh.
Thank you, Al Simon.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Terrific. And our guests, thank you. Our listeners, thank you, because you have given great ideas. You've shown value. And people, you need to contact these folks because they do good work and you will benefit. Good selling.